SJW's gone wild. Oh my god, this series is amazing. By the way, go read it.
Undead Unluck, my fucking god! Jump is not holding back anymore, my guys.
First things first, let's give the author a shout out. The guy's name is
should have had this up.
Guy/female.
Bro,
We don't know.
I wish this was written by a woman because honestly, if it was, you could just be like, "Fuck off every SJW."
It's made by a woman.
Yoshifumi Tozuka.
So
Tozuka. So
vibe
with
of
that,
like, remember when Deadpool was like the first R-rated movie, superhero movie, or well, not the first, but one of the first, and everyone was like, "Oh, it'll never work," and then it did, and then now everyone's like, "Pump them out." Chainsaw Man fucking proved it, bro. Chainsaw Man got successful, and now that they're opening the floodgates. Now, I guess I'll quickly describe, if you don't know what this is about. Essentially, first of all, read it, because spoilers, and we will be talking about that. It's just one chapter.
3, 2, 1.
Spoilers.
But essentially, it's this girl who's got this just unluck ability. Anyone touches her, and the longer they touch her, or in the more intimate way they touch her, the more unluck they have. So, as you can imagine, her family died in a plane crash after hugging her and then getting on a plane. Anyone she's ever tried to like have a romance with has died in some awful way. To the point where the beginning of the manga is her like finishing up some romance manga, like, wish that could have been my life. Well, anyway, time to kill myself. I respect any manga that starts off with a main character about to kill themselves. I've read a couple like that, and it's always a very like, oh shit, we're getting real. But then this guy, oh boy, this fucking undead guy is like, hey, I want to die, and it seems like you have an ability that maybe could get me there. So let's do this. And that's kind of the premise. Who else wants to pick up the mantle? Someone talk about this.
So, when I first saw this, I was getting caught off guard. I was like, "Whoa!" Like, because usually for the past few new mangas that have been coming out, the setup of the first chapters been kind of like a Saturday morning cartoon first episode type thing, to where like, we have this character, introduction to this character, a bunch of shit like that, and then boom, we get the premise of it towards the end. But this one was just flat out at the start. Like, she must die. The guy comes up. Like, this author is just going straight to the fucking point. Like, straight to the point. And I like it because
those are my favorite kind of first chapters. Like, set up the fucking premise. Like, this is why I loved Assassination Classroom so much. It was like, first chapter, here I am, I destroyed the moon, kill me before March. Like, I love that shit. Like, okay, I'm in, I know what's going on, let's go.
Yep.
Yeah, so this one is interesting, and I like it because the setup is there, and then the end of the chapter is just like, okay, we get more now, because I thought it was just going to be like a slice of like comedy. She's going to go to school, this zombie guy's going to follow her, shit like that, but no, this is actually going to be a battle manga series.
Yeah, and when I saw that, I was like, oh my god, this is going to be like a continuously running series. Like, this literally could be like a new Chainsaw Man, or a new, I don't know, like, long-running shonen. Now, like, I don't know how long they can stretch this premise, but, like, maybe.
Yeah, it's probably not going to be a super long series, but it's going to be a fun fucking ride.
I estimate maybe 300, 200 chapters.
You are insane. You are insane. I estimate 50.
I give it 70.
Bold.
No.
Bold.
No.
Hell no.
People,
how long can
yeah,
you really...
I'm pretty
like,
sure.
Here's the problem. The premise, unless the author, after a certain point, makes a big fucking shift in the storytelling so that they can go in a different direction, the premise can only be stretched out so long. As much as I love it, like, you're basically working on a DBZ level premise where it's like escalation, right? Like, so it's going to be bad luck, escalate, and we've already gotten to lightning strikes and meteors. So, like, I'm not really sure how far we can take this unless there's this big fucking shift in the storytelling, which there could be.
Yeah, I mean, keep in mind that there's a fucking organization that's chasing, because what he says is that it's our job to police any unselected negators or umas. So clearly there's more than one people like these people. So I'm assuming this is from what this government guy is talking about, is that there are people who have these unhumane abilities in the world, and it's your job to kind of fucking,
Right. Yeah.
basically either probably experiment on them or kill
Or
them
just kill
or
them.
some shit.
Yeah. Like, well, it makes
Yeah,
sense
yeah,
too.
yeah.
Because at first I was like, you guys are kind of being dicks, but then I saw what her shit was capable of. I mean, my God, bringing down meteors, like crashing planes, like that's a legit. Like I actually kind of understand why they would want to contain her. You know, it's a shame that if it was up to me, it'd be an organization trying to find a cure or helping them, not just killing them. But I understand why they want to get her out of the public.
Well, because not even that, he says that her ability is mainly used for murder. Like she could be a type.
Oh right, they wanted to probably use it for military reasons, didn't they?
Yeah, so she's
so just shoot her into a fucking enemy camp. In all reality, they probably want to see if they can like duplicate the bad luck ability, like see if there's a science to it, and then like, use it on their enemies, like a bad luck spray or a bad luck gas.
Yeah, so it makes me to believe it's something similar to, I wouldn't say the X-Men, but a sort of series that has these like people with extraordinary abilities who were probably born with them via either mutation or something happened, yada yada. Because there's a lot of stuff we're gonna have to learn. Like if the series survives, hopefully. Like how did she get it? Was because from the start we know that she must have had this ability when she was extremely young because she hugged her parents.
I think it was 8. Was it 8 years old when her parents died in a crash?
Yeah, 8 years old. So that must mean that either the powers manifest at 8 years old, or some shit like that. So 8 years old from now, she has the ability. Anyone who touches her gets unlucky, and we know there's more people like her and the zombie guy. Well, Andy. Around like them. So basically, this organization's probably like, I wouldn't be surprised if this organization was like, okay, we're going to use these for war effort. We're going to need you guys to fight, wars for Japan or do assassinations of like big, terrorists or shit like that, right? You know how fucking humans are.
Recruit them, yeah.
Yeah, if we see powerful humans, what we're going to do? I guarantee you, if mutants or quirks were, were alive in real life, what's the first thing any government's going to do? Oh, grab these fucking kids, train them, raise them in these fucking facilities, train them to be assassins and whatnot, and assassinate world leaders that are getting in our way. Like, it's humanism 101.
Oh yeah, and like imagine if they could genuinely like weaponize the bad luck. Like imagine they literally make like a bad luck gas and they drop that shit on some other country. Like just meteors falling, lightning striking, all their bridges collapsing. Like it'd be crazy.
Yeah, so
David, you want to have an addition here? And by the way, this is a 2-part video. We're going to be talking about the series itself and then the dumb SJW reaction to it. So
yeah. So this series, like, I was on my way back from the fucking eye doctor reading this because you're like, I want to talk about the series.
You're welcome, David.
The controversy. Thank you, sir, because this is a goddamn gold mine.
You see, does this remind you of when I got you into Promised Neverland?
Let's hope it doesn't shit the bed.
This one's a much simpler concept, a lot harder to fuck up, I find.
You never know nowadays.
Yeah. What does nowadays have anything to do with it?
I was trying to be optimistic.
Motherfuckers genuinely, I'm sorry, this is just an off-topic ramble. Motherfuckers these days just add these days to the end of sentences for no reason because people just do it and they think it makes a point. And then if you really stop and think about it, no, like, these days people corrupt. Like, no, people have always been corrupt. Stop putting these days at the end of sentences when it does not apply. Thank you. That's been a PSA from me.
I mean, look at fucking how they milked Dragon Ball. So anyway, these days, it seems like Jump wants to take risks again, and I'm 100,000,000% okay with this because let's be realistic. Shonen has been stale as fuck. It has been your 1-week-old cereal milk sitting over there in the corner, fucking
weird
just
try-hard
growing mold over there.
Let's just see what they had in the past year and a half.
I don't know if you were yang at what I said, Thurman. I thought you were like agreeing with how try-hard his metaphor was.
No. I knew what he was going for. So let's just look at the type of shit they have.
Dr.
Okay?
Stone, you have
no. I'm excluding successful series. Let's talk about like
All the shit they
So they
tried
have
that's failed.
Stealth Symphony, Red Sprite, Love Rush, Hi-Fi Cluster. Let's see here. No, that's a
Demon's Plan.
one shot. Yeah, Demon's Plan, Hell Warden Huguma,
Robot X Laser Beam.
Last Secretary. Let's see. Yeah.
How many of these? How many of these stock?
Double Taisai.
I love that Thurman knows this. Like, this is why we have Thurman on the channel. Like, he knows all the things.
This motherfucker reads
He
every
reads everything.
manga.
Everything.
Tokyo Shinobi Squad. What else we got here?
Pour one out for all these worthless manga.
So all of these manga, that just shit the bed and are gone away from history, it's clearly Jump, I would say out of all those manga I just named, probably only like 2 of them actually had potential, but Jump is Jump, so that's gonna.
They throw all the darts at the board.
We also have Barrage. That.
Oh, Barrage, pour one out.
Barrage.
No, okay,
Nation.
this is not the listing fucking failed manga series video. Moving on.
It's definitely relevant because
Yeah, but like you gotta. This is why
Let
you're
him
not in
get his
charge,
point.
Thurman. This is why
Let
neither
him
you
get his
fuckers
point
are in charge.
across. Let him get his point across. This is a
The point,
democracy, after all.
bro. If I was ever up on stage, I was like, all right. I'm now going to list all of the countries that have whatever minimum wage, and then I just go through every single one. It's like, okay, you could have listed like 3, bro.
So point being is that compared to these, this manga's actually, has some potential with uniqueness. Because there's a bunch of.
I immediately want to read more. I immediately want to see where it's going. How do you guys feel about the big muscle guy? I don't. He's a little extra.
These are Goku insert.
I don't know. A little too crazy for me. Like try hard crazy, in my opinion. Maybe he'll like. I'm sure he'll like develop.
He reminds
some development.
He reminds me of just your standard like fucking.
He's your gym bro.
You're like, whoa! Yeah, no, gym bros are not like this. I've been to a gym. Like, gym bros do not just like have. Well, actually, a lot of them do have their dick out in the locker room. But
how many did you see helicoptering their dick?
No, usually it's always the old men. They just don't care about having their dick. Like at this point, like my dick's been seen by so many people.
My dick's been seen by everybody, from Queen Elizabeth to the fucking first sergeant.
All right, Thurman's trying to make a point. Go ahead.
He's like a fucking I don't know if you guys ever read or watched Yusho Tora. He's like a Tora mixed with the dumb parts of Luffy and Asta to
I appreciate you said the dumb parts of Asta.
He gives me like slight Deadpool vibes.
No, not even Deadpool. Like more
slight,
so like
not fully. Like he's just very like I don't know. Like what's
maximum
Jim Carrey's The Mask, or just The Mask in the comics The Mask.
Like he reminds me a little bit of Renji too from Bleach, from what I've seen of him
fuck?
a little bit.
Not personality. Are you talking design?
No, not personality. Well, maybe it's Kenpachi.
I'm talking about personality, and I'm thinking like one of those like crazy. Like, how about Lobo?
Yeah,
you got some Lobo in there.
Lobo, Luffy off the dumbness, Tora.
Here Thurman goes listing 700 things again.
Fucking.
Anyway, like they do a lot of clever stuff with the power system, right? So like I literally was wondering, okay, how did he fucking launch himself? And it was he had his legs chopped off, and then he launched himself by regenerating them so fast. Like that's literally how he flies. It's the dumbest shit. Like, does that mean he's continuously cutting off his legs as he's flying? So does he leave behind piles of legs? Like, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting creative ways, because we've seen zombie characters before in many series, but this is like a very unique one. And it was crazy too, because when I was like, okay, how is he gonna come back? It turns out the lightning bolt was actually the unlucky shit that happened. So that's interesting. This author knows what he/she is doing.
It's a fucking heat. There's no. If a woman wrote this series, I want to meet her and I want to marry her.
You never know. Yoshi. Let me see what the fuck.
That's
her
a
name
top
is.
waifu right there. Any
Yoshi
women that can
Fumi.
fucking handle a joke, like, sign me up, please.
And where the main character can hang dong.
Oh yeah,
Yoshi
and chase after a woman being like, "I wanna bang you." It's like, like even I am like, "Oh god."
The minute I saw like that fucking photo, I'm like, oh god.
So before we get into that, one last
jeez.
thing I want to mention about the manga itself, and then we'll get into the outrage. I do love like the genuine deeper themes of like, because we see in the front of the manga, like, okay, her thing she always wanted, she wanted to like have a romance, because she's probably at that age, she wanted to experience romance, yada yada yada, and that becomes all the more tragic when you realize that like he held on to her for 10 minutes, and then it was just a lightning strike, but then one little kiss like was worse. So that means like it's not just the amount of contact, but it actually factors in like how intimate. So literally, like, any sort of lovemaking period is, like, apocalyptic. Like, if she ever had sex with a guy, which is probably why this guy's like, we gotta bang now. If I kissed it, that, like, what the fuck? You know, can you imagine if she just blew a dude, like, the goddamn like, hell would open up and swallow the guy as he's ejaculating.
Oh, yeah. It's an interesting thing, because
she's like, I just wanted to get my cherry popped, goddammit.
She's actually she would actually be a great assassin. So all you have to do is just kiss the president.
Right, bro. Just go, because there's like a time delay. She can just be like.
So it's very interesting. I'm liking how they're gonna do it, because if this is gonna be a battle manga, I'm hoping she's gonna at least learn some sort of combat. Hopefully, since she's gonna be chased.
I want it to be similar to how you wanted like Promised Neverland to become a battle manga. Like, I don't necessarily know if this would work as a full-on battle manga. Like, it seems to be more. I have a feeling it's going to be more down like the comedy slice of life lane. With, like, the
last time you said that, Promised Neverland is being one of the worst manga in Jumps. So I'm gonna trust my gut this time.
That wasn't because any of us were right or wrong. That was just the author shitting the bed.
Yeah.
Here's what I want this to be. I want this to be like Ass Class, where it's like it has elements of battle shonen and it has like serious moments, but then it has like in between like just like lighthearted comedy shit. I don't see, because like when I think battle manga, I think full on well established power system, training, villains you have to beat. I'm sorry, but like a person with bad luck, like there's not a lot of like, as the main character, like she has zero like abilities that can be like trained and improved upon. It's just like a passive effect. That's not like an ability of a main character of a shonen fighter. That's not what this is going to be, in my opinion. I'm saying it now. In before, friendo.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, I'll be happy either way.
And if you're right, you get the blowy, and then if I'm right, I get the blowy.
Yeah.
I'm coming
from
in,
David.
It's our mini bit.
David blows whoever's right.
No.
David's girlfriend. I'm sorry.
Yo, this man is wild. Red the cloud.
What even? I have no response. Anyway,
I filmed these videos with the one goal of making you fuckers have a reaction.
Mine is usually, what even is this?
What is this?
David, watch out. David's fragile masculinity is coming
out.
Oh,
God.
He's getting better.
I'm just giving up giving a shit.
We love you, David. I promise. All right.
Anyway,
speaking of fragility, SJWs. Who wants to start?
SJWs.
Listen here, you fucking snowflakes, while we defeat you with facts and logic.
Now, before we go full into the Ben Shapiro-ness, can we confirm and clarify that we are not like Hero High Yellow Flash type YouTubers? Because we like there's a very fine line.
I will defeat you with facts and logic.
Yellow Flash.
I figured that I was opening up that up to you because you hate those type of YouTubers.
I cannot stand the cringe tubers, my dude. I really, really, really want to separate us from them, but there is a point when you need to
talk
about this shit.
Well, that's why, if you don't mind if I clarify here, like, to me, like, it feels like the world thinks that you can only have one of two opinions. Either you're a libtard and you hate all jokes and you want to be a snowflake protected in your bubble, or you're a right-winger and you want to trigger the libs. But maybe, just maybe, there's rational people that have a little bit of both. So I
want my $15 plus minimum wage.
Yeah, I'm very economically
my
left.
free health care.
Without even talking about all that.
I want my gay friends to have guns and be able to smoke pot.
I want my gay, trans, women of color friends to have guns. Okay, that's more of a David thing. What I will say is, I see people, for example, that will remain unnamed, that feel like they want, like they seek out any reason to trigger, quote unquote, the libs, right? So like, this person's, because there are some things that are genuinely make sense to be upset about. So for example, there's a guy on Twitter who will remain unnamed that, will find literally any video of a cop beating the fuck out of someone and find a way to defend the cop. Like, well, he was breaking the law, so he deserved this. You know what I mean? That is someone who is purposefully he has an ideology and he refuses to look outside of this ideology. So he just is like, well, this is my ideology. So yeah, no, we are free thinkers. There are some things that are worth getting angry about. This is not one of them. My take on fiction will always be this. I separate fiction from the author, and I separate fiction from reality, as everyone should. If a piece of fiction ever makes anyone do anything bad, if you go and see the Joker movie and you want to shoot up a theater, if you read this manga and you want to chase down and fuck a woman, that's on you. That's not on the fiction, okay? So I don't understand why people they go on this like this manga is gonna make turn all these teenagers into rapists. Like, what the fuck? That's what I can't stand. Is this begging to censor freedom of speech, to censor fiction? I don't understand. Bro, anyone with good morals, which by the way should be taught to them by their parents and their teachers, not by fiction, will be able to read this and laugh about how ridiculous it is. Because when I read this, I was like, Jesus Christ, because this guy's crazy and he's insane, and oh my God, it's not like I'm like, yeah, I relate to this guy. Oh my God, hell yeah, what an alpha. And if people think that, they already thought it.
Chad.
They already thought it. It had nothing to do with the fiction. No one's getting their fucking life ideals changed by this manga. So that's my main thing. Okay.
What an absolute Chad. Every man should strive to be him.
So, yeah, it's just people try to fight. Cause from what had this conversation before, but to me, it just feels like people try to think that if you like a certain series or you like a certain character and whatnot, that means that character's or that series' ideology or message is something you agree with in real life, right? Like, if you like someone, let's say you like your favorite villain is Crocodile, right? That must mean you want to go out.
I guess you're a fucking gangster Bond villain that wants to fucking take over a country and be a terrorist.
Yeah, you want to take over a country, right? It's just so stupid. Cause
if you like Endeavor, you're an abuse sympathizer and you're normalizing abuse.
You see it all the time. If you like Big Mouth, you're a pedophile, or if you like Rick and Morty, you're a fucking abusive, cunty, smart piece of shit who, shit like that, right? Who's fully depressed.
It's people's inability to separate fiction from reality. My mom did. I remember when I was fucking 10 and I wanted to play Grand Theft Auto Vice City, and my mom's whole thing was oh, but just make sure he doesn't kill anyone, and make sure it's okay, cool. So don't play the game then. And guess what? She gave up. I played it at age 12, and I'm fine. You know what I mean?
Well, define fine.
Not killing people in the streets.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, to me, it's just, it takes me back to, and obviously I wasn't alive during this time. Maybe I was during the tail end, but I would have been a baby. But I know 80s, 90s, there was a big push to censor rock, right? Isn't that right, David? Mm-hmm. And that was because, oh my God, these bad words. My kids are gonna hear these bad words. It's or you as the parent could just not let them listen to it.
Wow. But what if their friends bought it?
They literally want the world to do their parenting for them. And these people
exactly.
And here's the thing, right? What do I fight for? I'm very politically involved. But what do I fight for? Do I fight for oh my God, if there's one thing I want, it's my fiction to have more inclusivity or more less boobs. We gotta censor all the boobs. What a fucking waste of time. If that's what you are fighting, if you are spending more than 30 seconds of your day on something like that, you've wasted your life. Fucking rethink yourself and fight for things that matter, okay? Because things that matter.
Therapy.
Yeah, like there are so many things that matter. There are wars being waged, innocent people dying. There are people that die every year in this country, the United States of America, because they don't have health care. There are so many important things. And for you to take away something that's beautiful, this ability to just escape into a fictional world because it insults you, I don't know if you know this, but if you don't like something, you don't got to read it. You don't got to. Just like on Twitter, if someone bothers you, you can block them. They act like they're fucking chained down in a chair being forced to read it. Insanity. Go ahead.
Here's my goal, Red. We are going to Clockwork Orange everybody and make them watch Boku no Pico.
No, I'm good. I'm gonna stay away from that. Always and forever.
That would offend everybody though. That work of fiction offended everybody when it came out, just like this did, just like fucking Chainsaw Man did.
Yeah, but
just
like that one is I don't even want to talk about that's I don't want to go. I don't want to compare this to that. This is like a genuine story.
This is a genuine story. That is fucking I agree. That's one you stay away from. But that's the meme here. Like Jesus Christ.
But if you don't want to stay away from it, you do you, because it's a free fucking country.
You do you, boo. But really, like, I've never been of the mindset since I was a fucking kid to be like, oh no, the bad words, they scare me. Oh no, the tits, the ass, the hanging dick. No, God, no. What about the fucking children? Fucking be a parent.
So, like, someone's argument, I know that the argument, devil's advocate here, the argument back would be, oh, well, that's because of your position and you've never experienced this and that and the other thing because you're this and that, you know what I mean? Like, that's what they'll say. So, like, to clarify, I'm thinking throughout my entire life if there's ever been a piece of fiction that has insulted me ever, and I can only think of like dumb shit. Like I know I think it's Hulu is putting out a fucking like documentary on Hillary Clinton's life, and I'm like, that's cringy. But am I like, there are literally people that are like, cancel Hulu. I'm like, oh, over a fucking, like, what? Like, yeah, it's gonna be cringe, but like, are they worth canceling over? No, because I have a functioning brain. The other one, High Guardian Spice, I don't know if it's ever gonna come out, but like, what genuinely insulted me was their fucking production video where they were like, we purposefully didn't let any men work on this. 100% women. We just told the men to fuck off. That was insulting to me. But am I like, am I fucking campaigning to get that show canceled? No, I don't care. Put it out. Because everyone's right.
We made a video out of it.
To be fair, that's a legitimate, but the thing is, though, that's not the same thing, because that's actually something to be mad about, because that's not something fictional. That's you literally saying, hey, you can't.
That is something to be mad about, but would I campaign to cancel their show? No.
Oh, no.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, be mad. Be mad all you want. I don't care if you're mad, but once you cross that line into, now I want him to change his fiction, or I want this fiction to be banned, or I want it to be censored, that's when you lose me. You have every right. That's the beauty of free speech. If you hate this fucking series, scream it from the rooftops. Debate it all day. That's great. But the second you want it censored, you lose me. Period.
Yeah, because, I mean, here's the thing, right? Like, there are, I will bite the bullet and say, there's like I would say 25% thing you can get mad about from a fictional sense. There are some things, if an author is blatantly like doing some like maybe racial or like targeting shit, then yeah, I guess. But I mean that I've gone back to many. I've read a bunch of series, played a bunch of games, I've read a bunch of comics, but I read comics. You know, I've seen. You know, I'm a big geek nerd or whatever. I've seen a lot of shit. Seen and read a lot of shit, and I rarely have been offended. The only thing I'm offended by about how bad some of these series are.
Yeah, and
because I've read some awful series.
Like, if I was reading this manga, and this is gonna get a little racy, but I want to make a point here. So like let's say we came on and we read this, and this guy was literally like holding this woman down, like fuck you bitch, and then started like almost was gonna fuck her. Then I'd be like, okay, holy fuck, why is this a thing? At that point, yeah, but like I've literally never seen a series do that. I don't think a series would ever make it past like production if it was doing that. You know what I mean? Now, if there's a 1 in a million like book where it's like, well, this book and the way that it writes rape is kind of fucked up, I could see that existing. And like, all right, well then, then don't buy it, don't look at it, and hopefully that will just fail naturally. But like 99.9999999% of the time, it's a joke, and it's like, is this really gonna make someone like? Is this normalizing something that's bad? I don't think so. I think most functioning people are gonna be like, yeah, it's a fucking fictional series.
Like, I'm gonna be real. No series that has rape or homophobic shit, racial shit is. I hate this concept of, oh, this series is glorifying drugs, or this series is glorifying rape, or glorifying sexual assault, yada yada yada. No,
just having it is not glorifying it.
Yeah, that they fucking think that's not what it means. Just having a real life theme in a fucking series does not mean it's being glorified.
It's how it's portrayed.
Like no author or game developer saying, "Oh yes, you see how this character's raping this girl? You do exactly that." Or there's no mangaka saying, "Oh yeah, I think everyone should do how this character's doing." Like Oda's not gonna fucking say, "Oh hey, yeah, go fucking kick some guy in the fucking face because Sanji does it." Like no one does that. It's a work of fiction for a fucking reason.
Yeah, it is kind of insane how people. Like, they literally think, like, if you wrote it, it means you condone it. Like, how the hell are you supposed to ever write a villain, ever? Ever. like, people literally be out here calling, like, Horikoshi, like, a fucking abuse sympathizer because he's, like, writing Endeavor. Like, that's crazy. Like, I literally cannot fathom these people's minds. Like, do you want all of your fiction to be the most boring shit in the world? Like every fucking show you ever watch to be, like, fucking Care Bears? Like, everything's happy. We live in a perfect world.
That's not how that works, because that's not reality.
And even if it was reality, guess what? We'd be pretty fucking bored because it'd be a perfect world. So we'd write some fucked up shit for our fiction, and that'd be okay.
And it's just like, why? Like, because I've seen some people just fucking like say, "Oh, the fans who like this or this." Like, why label someone something? Like, you guys not know what these words mean? Watching a show or reading something or playing a game does not equal to you being racist. Like, it's the same thing. I don't know if you guys saw my Twitter or Facebook posts, but it's the same thing with some of these K-pop and rap fans. They're like, if you don't like K-pop or rap, you're racist, or Koreans and black people. No, that's not how that works. That's not how that works.
Maybe we don't like mumble rap.
Just because you don't like a predominantly racial genre does not mean you hate that race. Being racist, being homophobic, being a rapist, all this rape sympathizer, all this shit, you guys, they throw these words out willy-nilly, and
to the point where it loses all meaning. Like, they call everything racist, and then therefore, but do you want to know why the fucking right has risen so much? Why one of the big reasons Donald Trump is in power right now is because people used racist, homophobic, misogynistic, bigotry so much. That word got used so much that it lost all meaning. And then people were, every time they heard it used, rolled their fucking eyes because it got to the point where they were called, anyone they didn't like, they called them that. And then they look at both sides politically. And then they say, okay, well, the right are the ones that are like, fuck off, and the left is the ones that care about these races, and then therefore they're like using these terms. And that made a lot of people, without even realizing the economic policies that the right uses and like everything else the right stands for, just based purely on the SJW aspect alone, so many people our age go to the right politically because they're sick of SJWs. Okay? And that's why if you want to actually like fight for good things in the world, you do not focus on the teensy tiny little baby bullshit things, okay? If you want to fight for good in the world, don't waste your time on, oh, this series showed some cleavage and it made me upset, because you're a joke and you are literally the reason people are moving over to the right.
Ding 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 ding
So
ding. Ding.
this is my final statement, and then I'll give you 2 final statements, and then we'll wrap up this video, okay? Because I want it to be under 40 minutes, because that seems to be what people are acceptable to click on. So my final statement is this. There are 2 types of people in the world. One type of person is the type of person that their idea of a perfect world or a utopia is they genuinely think that, like, okay, well, the only way that you get rid of things like murder and rape and sexism is that you erase the concept from existence. So they want to never talk about it. Get any fiction that has sexism, stop it. Any fiction that has murder, blood, guts, violence, swear words, we stop all of that. And they think that if they just remove the knowledge of the thing, it'll stop. That's what it seems like sometimes. Oh, well, if we just remove swear words from everything, if we bleep swear words, people will stop swearing. No, it becomes the forbidden fruit, and then they want to do it. The way I look at this, and the way that everyone should look at this, is if I want a utopia, sure, but I want people to choose that utopia. I want people to choose to be good. It's the classic fucking Adam and Eve and the forbidden fruit, you know? In the Bible, God did not fucking... Like, he didn't just fucking give them a field with only good shit. He put that one forbidden fruit. Why? Because they had to have choice. And if they didn't have choice, then they're just slaves. They're slaves and forced to be good because they know no knowledge of bad. I want people to be free and good. I don't want people to be good because everything around them gets rid of anything bad. I don't want people to be good because they're in a bubble that they're not even choosing to be in. I want people to be free and to make that choice because I believe in freedom. That's why I'm against censorship at my core. Final thoughts for you two.
So, Red, have you ever heard of the banned book list?
The banned what?
The banned book list.
I don't think so.
So it's a list of books that have been banned and challenged throughout history.
I'm
right?
dumb. I thought it was a band called Book List.
Yeah. That's
No,
what I heard.
no.
The band.
Okay.
No.
Yeah. I was like, well, yeah, yes, I do know exactly what you're talking about. Yep.
So that's kind of what I'm seeing here. Like, that's the way people want to portray manga. Guess what's one of the most challenged? Yeah, but guess what's on that challenge for young adults? Because I just pulled it up because I'm like, I want to see if there's any manga on here. You want to guess, Thurman and Red, what is on that? And I will send you this link, by the way, Red. Fucking Dragon Ball. Fucking Dragon Ball.
For where? Where is that banned?
It is not banned. It's been on the challenge, kind of like J.K. Rowling books have been challenged throughout the fucking annals of time since this came out, right? So here, you can put this in here. Fucking Milk Toast Dragon Ball has been challenged to be censored because, I guess, violence?
Oh, yeah, because dumb moms will think that, well, if my child is reading punchy things, they'll want to punch things. I never fucking wanted to punch things from reading Dragon Ball, ever.
I wanted to, go out and try to go, God.
Yeah. We wanted to shoot fucking lasers is what we wanted to do.
And we want to go Super Saiyan, just like we want a Naruto run through Area 51.
See, like, it's this want to control and not just let people be people.
Right.
And, like, people are going to have violence outbursts. See, the problem is, like, I don't know. That's a whole different rant. I don't want to extend this video too much. But, yeah, I mean, like, the one when we're talking about banned books, I always think about, like, Huckleberry Finn, because as the N-word. And do you realize, like, the point of that book is to shock. When you're reading it in a class full of, like, fucking, I don't know, like, privileged white kids that have never had to deal with that shit, the whole point is to be like, yeah, this happened. This is a thing that hurt people. And we learn from history. We don't censor it.
Yeah, that's why, like, fucking To Kill a Mockingbird has been one of the most challenged books. Like, why...
Yeah, maybe that's what I meant, but yeah.
Why all these fucking books have been challenged is because they're controversial. They're controversial because they're thought-provoking, you fucking imbeciles.
Yeah, literally everything. Every piece of art that has ever been famous or, like, changed history or changed culture has been something that, in its time, people wanted to censor. Every person that changed the world Martin Luther King, fucking Nelson Mandela,
And we're filming
Bernie
this on Martin
Sanders
Luther-
right now. And you could argue Donald Trump, because, I mean, he's changing it. I'd argue in a bad direction, but he's changing it, right? But people that want to change the world, good or bad, they try to censor them. The world, the society has this bubble, and that's like, oh, well, this is the norm. This is the establishment. This is the unchanging. And they desperately want to keep it on track. And anyone that attempts to go outside of that bubble, they're like, no! And that's why
You are not allowed to pierce the ceiling.
Because it's those things that aren't censored. It's those things that shock people, that push society, that change things. Everything we take for granted now was fought for by someone who was attempted to be censored. So yeah. Final thoughts for you, Thurman, and then we should wrap up this video.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically, last thoughts here is it's just learn when to win and when to not to, complain about certain things in life, because there are so many more important things than just,
Getting pulled away.
Yeah, more certain things than just, oh, this series is bad because it shows tits, or this series is bad because, it's like that. Because there's always something worse in the world to complain about. Always. And the fact that these people are trying to sit here and say, like, oh, this series is bad because why did Jump let this series in magazines? Just like, who cares? Like, you guys, some of these people are so hypocritical because they want people to have, creative freedom and artistic freedom, but will shun them for having that freedom. Like,
Exactly.
if they're trying to make a story, why make them feel bad for that story? Like, why make the fans try to feel bad because they like the story? Like, are you gonna call like Berserk fans rapists because there's a bunch of rape scenes in there, when in a fantasy fiction series that makes sense because there are animals and fucking creatures that would most likely do that shit? Same with Goblin Slayer, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So stop trying to censor everything that doesn't cater to what you like, because it doesn't make sense. That's not how life works. In order for you to live life, you're gonna have to have people who are going to contest you, because if everyone agrees with you, then you're not gonna go anywhere. People
Also,
have different
in order to live life, you have to be pushed out of your bubbles and your safe spaces. And this is not me being the typical, like, liberals and their safe spaces. Like, I understand wanting to feel as comfortable as possible, but as someone who it took me a while to become a functioning adult. I was a basement dweller. I lived in my parents' basement for a long time, and every time I've ever made genuine progress in my life, it was because someone pushed me out of a bubble that I didn't want, that I fucking resisted kicking and screaming and clawing. I didn't want to learn to drive. My parents had to fucking force me. I didn't want to get a job. My parents had to fucking force me. I didn't want to go to high school from middle school. My parents had to be like, what the fuck are you talking about? Go to school. You know what I mean? And dumb shit like that, where like I'm seeing people now being like one of the most egregious things I've ever seen was like a much younger person I was talking to in a Discord server was claiming that a teacher fucking was breaking their safe space and like mentally abusing them for forcing them to speak in front of the class because that made them uncomfortable.
I hated giving speeches in fucking school.
But
I
that's
really
the point.
Yeah. I'm a nervous wreck giving a speech for some reason, but talking in a video is completely, more natural to me.
Because you don't got that body language. That's why I don't have webcams, because the body language changes everything for me.
Yeah. I do webcam vids. Like it's so different talking to a non-existent.
Right? Like just in general, like this idea of censorship and safe spaces, like it's genuinely concerning to me, because it's you're never gonna learn and grow. So, and then I guess wrapping it back up to this manga, because I do want this video to be less than an hour. I'm glad that this manga exists, because it's reminding me, it's just like South Park. I always like there to be as many series as possible pushing the envelope and making people upset, because all the best art makes people upset, and the more stuff that makes people upset, the less people will be upset in a weird way, because you got to normalize it.
People are just so stupid. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, that's fine.
People are just so stupid. It's just like a fucking. I just hate. Cause I have to head out here soon. So my final thoughts is it's just learn, like, pick and know when to be offended by it. Okay, we don't care that you're offended by it. You can go on Twitter and complain about the series all you want, but don't get upset when someone else is calling you out on the bullshit because like this series. I'm gonna be real. Just like that Twitter thread was saying, we've seen way worse.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or early Dragon Ball had Bulma literally showing her vagina to Roshi. Like, we've seen worse. Like, this isn't the worst shit we've ever seen. So,
Exactly.
just
Thank
stop
you.
complaining. Stop worrying about it. And that's a piece for me. And I hope all of you guys have a great day.
Thank you, Thurman. Yeah, and for me, it's like, man, like, here's the thing. Fight for change in real life. Fight for change in policy, and then fiction will follow suit. You don't need to. You're doing it the entirely opposite way. You don't fight for women to be treated better in fiction and then think that somehow translates to real life. It's the other way around. You get laws that make women treated more equally, and then fiction follows suit. So, like, go back, to like the 1980s or something. Your manga had your typical damsel in distress, and then they were just treated like one-dimensional fucking trophies to be won. But as society grew, and that was seen as like we treated women better, and women started writing things, and that just became more normal. Fiction followed suit. So I agree with you. Like, things like that need to change, but I find that they just happen by themselves when society changes, and it's just so like it's just a waste of time to fight and to be so angry over a fictional series in general. So yeah, final thought. I'll leave the last words to you, David.
Remember when one of the most revolutionary series of this recent history just broke fucking streaming records on HBO? Had a dude fucking flaying people alive.
Yeah.
Are we
people
out
are
there?
hungry for that fucking raw, not pre-filtered, processed bullshit.
But are we out there flaying people alive right now?
Good point. Great point.
We aren't. So shut the fuck up, fight for change in real life, and grow a pair, you bunch of fucking bitches. Peace.
And by the way, if people were flaying, if one guy like started flaying people and it was because of Game of Thrones, I still wouldn't call for censorship because that's one crazy guy.
That's one fucking dude, right? Exactly.
Peace.
I'm glad.